What's good, y'all? It's your boy Sean P. the Bluff Guy. Hey! We are back with another One Piece chapter reaction. Today we will be reacting to One Piece chapter 1073, Miss Buckingham, Stussy. Now, before we get into this chapter, make sure you guys hit that like button. Also, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications. Also, comment down below your thoughts on the chapter, your thoughts on my reaction. What did I miss? What did I get wrong? What did I get right? Let me know down in the comments. Also, follow me on Twitch so you can catch me live and you can engage with me in real time. If you want to get at me directly, make sure you follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, and join the Discord. The Discord is going to be the best place to get at me because that's usually where I'm the most active at. And if you want to send me content, I have a channel in the Discord designated for you guys to send me content. And if you want to be part of a future discussion stream, you must be a member of the Discord. So make sure you guys are joining the Discord. All of these will be in the description box down below. So y'all make sure y'all go holla at it. Well, anyway, y'all know what it is. Today is chapter reaction day, and we are reacting to chapter 1073, Miss Buckingham, Stussy. Now, I want to say this. I kind of know what this chapter entails. I know some aspects this chapter entails. I wasn't spoiled too bad. I might have been spoiled on one part. I don't know if it was actual panel or somebody made the panel. I might have been spoiled. I think that has something to do with one of the Gorosei members, and I also do have an inkling that Kizaru does something in this chapter as well. I wasn't spoiled on any Kizaru stuff, thankfully. What I was spoiled on, at least what I think I was spoiled on, if it is a real panel, is one of the Gorosei members. I'm not going to say what happened because again, I don't know if it's a real panel, and I don't want to spoil you guys if it is indeed a spoiler. But I think I might have been spoiled on the Gorosei guy. You know what I'm saying? So that's all I'm gonna say about that. Alright, y'all, so let's get into this chapter. We got this cover page. One Piece, 1000, or One Piece chapter 1073, Miss Buckingham, Stussy. Alright, so we got this cover story. We have Vegapunk and, a portion of his head. I don't really know what's going on, but he looked like he's enjoying himself, right? It looked like he's in front of a camera. Yeah, it looked like it's in front of a camera with like like one of them snails, them den snails. And behind him, we got tanks shooting flowers at each other. So these are some tanks shooting flowers at each other. And we have Queen, Caesar, and Judge in the lower portion of the page, all looking at Vegapunk, I guess in shock at what he achieved. So what I'm thinking he did, it says Germa 66 Cold Blooded Voyage Volume 29 awarded the Ibel Peace Prize, like the Nobel Peace Prize, for developing the GP flower, a flower that blooms in gunpowder. Okay, so what I'm assuming is you got these two factions in the background going to war with these tanks, and he is recording him. He's recording pretty much what is a experiment, I guess, right? With these two factions going to war, but what they're shooting, like they're shooting their tanks at each other, but flowers are coming out because of whatever this invention he created to make gunpowder, make flowers, I guess, sprout from gunpowder, right? So when they shoot it, flowers come out instead of actual like gunpowder And you know, so it's like they can't hurt each other, right? They can't hurt each other because they're shooting flowers at each other. So it's like it's I guess it's a weapon. It's not really a weapon, but it's like a weapon that's used for peace. You know what I'm saying? So you in the stop wars, you put that into the gunpowder, they can't even kill each other, right? They can't even kill each other. So that I guess that's what's going on in this cover page with Vegapunk. But let's get into this chapter though. Let's get into the chapter. Okay, so we are at the Labo Stratum. I think I be getting the areas mixed up, y'all. I know I'll probably be getting these areas, these Egghead Island areas mixed up, but we're in the area where we had CP0 fighting Zoro and Brook, right? And said so we see the lab in the background partially cut off. It says Lucci's reaction to betrayal. And he says, Kaku. And then Lucci says, this is a bitter pill to swallow. And we got Stussy looking at Rob Lucci. And so Rob Lucci goes in for a finger gun. But Stussy, it's like his finger goes through Stussy. Like her body almost becomes intangible, you know. But I'm assuming it's more of an after image though. I'm assuming it's an after image. She says, "Paper art's heartbreak after image." Yeah, that's exactly what it was, after image, because we see her right behind Rob Lucci, and then Stussy says, so when you don't understand, your first instinct is to go for the kill. Talking to Rob Lucci. Okay, Stussy out here showing us. She out here giving Rob Lucci the business. Don't tell me she is tougher than Rob Lucci. It might be the case. She might be able to beat Rob Lucci. She might be able to know diff Rob. My question is, where does Rob Lucci stack? Like, where does he stack against the other CP0 agents? You know, is he like a high-ranking CP0 agent, or is he just kind of somewhere in the middle, or even at the low spectrum? You know, I would think he's at least stronger than Kaku, at the very least. But is he stronger than Guernica? You know what I'm saying? Is he stronger than the other guy who was at Wano with Guernica? You know, like, where does Rob Lucci stack in the CP0 hierarchy? You know, because back in his lobby, we know that Rob Lucci was the strongest of the CP9 agents. But that don't necessarily mean he's going to be strongest of the CP0 agents. Yeah, just saying. Stussy says, my, you're so wild. And then she has a lipstick. I guess she like opens her lipstick stick. She opens her lipstick stick. She opens her lipstick, right? And says, you're so wild. And then she just says tap. Oh, and then Rob Lucci says sea stone. So that is a sea stone. She has like a sea stone lipstick, sea stone stick of lipstick stick. She has a sea stone lipstick, but that's dope though. I like that. I like to see characters actually use sea stone as a weapon. You know, I like to see more characters actually use sea stone. Like, we haven't really seen much of that since like Smoker. We know Smoker has that little I don't know what you call that weapon, but it's like that weapon. It's kind of like a baton. But he has like that baton weapon, and it has sea stone at the tip. So it's nice to actually see more weapons being used, like sea stone coated weapons. And I think it's smart, especially as we go further dealing with stronger devil fruit users. Another time we seen the sea stone weapon was in Wano. I want to say Hawkins, one of those nails that he uses was like a sea stone nail. I want to say he shot the law with it. And so we have seen it. It's just not common that we do see it. But it's nice to actually see it, you know. And so Stussy like opens her mouth wide and she bites Lucci right in the neck as he is weakened by the sea stone. Okay, Stussy. I mean, hey, she did have the sea stone sister, so you know that did kind of nerfed Lucci in the moment, but to connect with the sea stone on Rob Lucci while he was fully aware of Stussy, that's still impressive. That's still a feat by Stussy. She managed to incapacitate Rob Lucci with the sea stone lipstick, and then she managed to bite Rob Lucci. And then we got Kaku. Kaku in the Kaku is not Kaku the CP0 agent, but the bird. I don't know what I don't remember what the bird's name. What is the bird's name, y'all? But he's in the background screaming Kaku, and then Rob Lucci says, "You bitch." And then Stussy says, "I know how strong you boys are. Fighting you fair and square would have been stupid." And then Stussy says, "Forgive me." So, I mean, Stussy kind of confirms that, you know, she had to use little tricks in order to fight Rob Lucci and Kaku. You know, so I guess, you know, we could still say Rob Lucci is at least superior to Stussy. You know, seeing how Stussy had to say fighting you too fair and square would have been, you know, would have been stupid on her half, but she could have also been talking about like fighting them like a 2-on-1 fair and square, right? Like, yeah, the odds would be against her. But she could also mean like fighting either of y'all 1-on-1 could be stupid on my half as well. So we see Zoro, we see Brooke, and I don't say Brooke says, "What? Just the moment. What is this? Why are the CP0 agents at each other's throats?" Like literally at each other's throats. Stussy on the other hand at their throats. And then Zoro says, "Friendly fire, huh?" And then Stussy picks up addendum Mushi and she says, "This is Stussy. I put them both to sleep." And then we cut to where we see Pythagoras and is that Atlas? Atlas's body? Not too sure. But Pythagoras says, "That's fantastic news. Stussy came through. York, pull it together." Yeah, that was York. That was York, not Atlas. It was York. And then York says, "Yawn." So Pythagoras is pretty much, you know, trying to get York up so they could get ready to get out. So is this a confirmation that Stussy is indeed the mystery ally? You know, now that she called the Vegapunks and let them know that, you know, the CP0 agents were taken care of. So then we cut back to the lab with Nami, Robin, Usopp, Shaka, and Jinbei's group. And Usopp says, "Huh? What's going on?" And Nami says, "Rob Lucci was beaten?" And Shaka says, "No doubt he was taken by surprise. Her loyalty to me was kept secret, even after she spent 20 years as one of their agents." So Stussy been a CP0 agent for 20 years. And huh, I'm trying to because we know O'Hara is about 20 something years ago as well. You know, how did he get how did Vegapunk manage to get Stussy into CP0 though? You know, I would think that CP0's like their barrier to entry would be super strict, right? Like I would think that they will only accept like kids in, right? Like kids that they could brainwash and keep like brainwash them to be loyal, you know? So was Stussy could Stussy potentially have been a kid, like a child clone when she joined CP0, right? Because I know we had the Mads cover page where we had the woman who pretty much seemed to be Stussy right next to the other members of Mads. That could have been Bakken though. That could have been Bakken. And when Stussy was created, she was a kid, and then they managed to get Stussy into CP0 as a kid. I would think that CP0 would have them as kids, kind of like when we seen the CP9 flashback of the of Rob Lucci and all the other CP9 agents. They were kids. They were kids training, you know, and it made sense because kids are a lot easier to gain like that loyalty, especially if you brainwash them at a young age. I would think CP0 would do the same thing, but if they accepted Stussy and she was adult, like an adult, right? You know, I feel as though there's a lot more room for betrayal. You know, one of Usopp says you, or I think this is Usopp talking. It might be one of the other Straw Hats. I think it's Usopp. He says you had a mole in the intelligence branch, and then Shaka says it wasn't our intentions, but that's how it turned out. Okay, so they didn't have her join on purpose. It just happened this way. I hope we get an explanation. I hope we get an explanation on how Stussy managed to infiltrate CP0. So I'm assuming this is Stussy still talking, or Stussy is talking to Shaka over Denden. She says, Doctor, unfortunately my authority level is the same as Lucci's. So I can't override his orders. And stop the Seraphim. Okay, so if you're on equal ground on the hierarchy branch as somebody else and they give the Seraphim an order, you can't override a previous order if you're equal to the last person that gave him an order. And so now we still got all the Seraphim attacking the lab. And over to Dendemushi, they says, you've done plenty, Stussy. We're on our way. And that was Edison speaking. And we see Boa shooting beams out her hand. And Zoro and Brook are both running. They say, we need to stop those runts before they flatten the others. And Brook says, right. And it's just me, or do those kids look familiar? So we see Kuma and Jinbei both shooting laser beams out their hand. And then Zoro says, I know, especially that one. Oh, we know which one Zoro's talking about. Are we about to get a S-Hawk versus Zoro? Are we about to get a peek into Zoro's final fight? Are we about to get a peek? It would, bro. Like if Zoro did defeat this Mihawk Seraphim, you know, it could be like a it could be like a good step to moving forward to fighting Mihawk, right? Like a nice little peek into that fight. All right, so we see like part of the lab destroyed, and then Lilith is still pushing forward. It's like she's flying. I guess her shoes are acting like propulsions, right? We seen Vegapunk use it before, and Lilith got a little booty. I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying, Lilith got a little booty. You know, okay, Lilith, but she's like propelling forward with those shoes that she got, those lab shoes, and she says, "Phooey, they won't stop blowing holes in the lab. Though I suppose we can use those extra exits to get out faster." Hey, that's why I like Lilith, man. Lilith is looking at the positives, right? Looking at the hey, I ain't gonna lie, man. Lilith might be my favorite Vegapunk. Lilith might be my favorite. Like, it's literally like Lilith, then maybe Shaka, and then maybe the real Vegapunk, maybe like Stella. I don't know how I would rank them, but Lilith might be my favorite one. I like Shaka's design though. You know what I'm saying? And then y'all can have the real Vegapunk. You know what I'm saying? So Lilith makes it out, and she says, or Lilith says, "And I'm out." And she says, "Hey, Seraphim, listen." And then we see S-Hawk, and he looks up at Lilith, and he like locks on to Lilith. He he is locking on to Lilith, and even Lilith's like, "Oh, this man's about to massacre me." And you just hear a beep beep, and then you see some hands grip two swords. We know who that is. We know who that is. So we see Zoro clash with S-Hawk. Bro, this is a glimpse into the future. Bro, this little mini Mihawk, bro. Yo, Lil S-Hawk might be my new favorite character. Nah, I'm joking. Mihawk, the original, the OG Mihawk all day, but S-Hawk, you know what I'm saying? S-Hawk, I ain't gonna say he's one of my favorite characters. We haven't seen enough of S-Hawk, but you know what I'm saying? That's little S-Hawk, man. You know what I mean? I might have to get me a little partner in crime, and I'm gonna be, I'm the Mihawk, and he gonna be S-Hawk, or she or whatever, S-Hawkalina or something. You know what I mean? So we see little S-Hawk sweating a little bit, and Zoro says, "On closer inspection, you're not the same. You actually have a spark of humanity still." What do Zoro mean by that? He said S-Hawk has a spark of humanity. Like Mihawk has no humanity. Yo, that's wild. We got a clone of Mihawk with more humanity than Mihawk. And Zoro would know, right? If anybody would know how Mihawk is personally, Zoro would know. But what does this say about Mihawk, though? What does this say about Mihawk if the man lacks humanity? Is the man really that cold-hearted? From what we seen, Mihawk does seem pretty cold-hearted, right? Like, the man was hunting down Don Krieg's ship just because he was bored, right? Just because he was bored. Even Chef Zeph said, Mihawk probably attacked them because they woke him up out of sleep or something, so Mihawk do seem pretty cold-blooded, I will say that. And then Zoro says, "What the hell are you?" And then Lilith says, "That was a shot." And then Edison says, "Leave it to me." So I wonder why Lilith didn't just continue like with the order. Like if she would have gave the order before S Hawk could even attack, then S Hawk would have had to stand down, right? That's what I would think. But unless S Hawk's attacks are just too fast, right? Which would make sense, right? Like, bro, it's a clone of Mihawk here, and they're Seraphim, Edison says Seraphim, and we see Jinbei shooting a laser, or S Shark shooting his laser, and then Edison says, "Quit it, stop fighting immediately." And then someone says, "Edison." And then Lilith says, "No, he can't be." And what is she talking about? No, he can't be. Because we see like an explosion right when Edison says something. Okay. Oh, all right. So going back, I had to relook at that page to see what happened. So Edison calls the Seraphim, and then it looks like Jim or S Shark. S Shark shoots a laser from his hand at Edison, and right when Edison says "quit it," like the laser is about to hit him, and then it explodes. And that's Lilith screaming Edison. And then and Lilith says, "No, he can't be." So Lilith thinks that Edison is destroyed from that laser. And we see Sanji made the saving Edison. And Zoro says, "Hmm." And Sanji says, "You looking for this? That was close," says Edison. And then we see Lilith with tears and snot running from her nose. And she says, "Edison." So it does show that like the Vegapunks care for each other, right? So Shaka may not care for the other Vega. No, I think they all care for each other. Even if Shaka is a traitor, I think Shaka most likely still care about the other Vegapunks. Lilith says the Seraphim finally listen. And Zoro says, "Can someone tell me what these things are?" And someone, okay, so we got Stussy speaking over the Den Mushi. And she says, "Shaka, I've bound Lucci and Kaku with sea stone. Much obliged, Stussy. We're leaving the island. You should come with us." So that's Shaka speaking. And then Stussy says, "Understood." Usopp says, "Hey, you can't keep adding people." Bro, they're going to have a lot of people on the ship, bro. You got all the CP0 agents, Stussy, possibly the Seraphim, if they're going to keep the Seraphim. I'm just saying, bro. I'm just saying. The Seraphim look like they might be with the Straw Hats now, man. Like how do the world government get the Seraphim back now? How does the world government get the Seraphim back? Kizaru's there, right? So if Kizaru had some type of authority chip that overrides even Vegapunk's orders, Kizaru could take him back. But as far as we know, the only people hired in Vegapunk is the Gorosei. So you literally need the Gorosei at Egghead Island at this point in time. And, Kizaru is not going to do. Not alone, at least. But, hey, man, the odds are looking good in favor of the Straw Hats and the Vegapunks, right? They got the Seraphim back. You still got Luffy on your crew, Mr. Sun God Nika himself. Who's on the world government side now? Kaku and Lucci are taken care of. They're done. They're out of it. Just got Kizaru, right? So it's Kizaru looking like he got the odds stacked against him. Kizaru looks like he has the odds stacked against him. So I don't know how this is gonna go for my mans. So we got Luffy looking for Jory Bonnie, and he says, "Hey Bonnie, where do you go? Old man Punk, we can't leave without you." Now, when you got Luffy rushing people, you got Luffy like, "Hey, bro, we gotta go. What y'all doing?" The man who loves to explore and don't like to leave, right? So we get an older box that says a truly unexpected development. Dr. Vegapunk's main Stella body has vanished. And it says, "Old man." Dr. Vegapunk has vanished. It look like we might, so it's starting to look like we're gonna be on Egghead for a little while now. We're gonna be on Egghead for a little while. Alright, so we cut to Sphinx New World, Whitebeard's hometown. And someone say, "Marco, it was too scary." Not for me. I wasn't scared. So you got these two little kids talking to Marco. And they said there were Marines all over this place. And Marco says, "I'm real sorry, kids, Yoi. I didn't mean to leave you in such a bad spot." And then Marco says, or the kid said, "It's not your fault, Marco. Those Marine meanies were just the worst. They said they were here for Whitebeard's treasure. They were just like pirates." And then we give a little flashback of these Marines at Sphinx Island. And they say, "If you play nice, you won't get hurt, okay?" What is going on at Sphinx Island? What is going on at Sphinx? Are we gonna have to stop at Sphinx Island next? Are we going to have to stop at Sphinx Island? And what treasure are they looking for? How do they hear about a treasure from Whitebeard when Whitebeard don't have a treasure? Like so Weevil and Bakken are both looking for Whitebeard's treasure. Bakken, the person that Stussy was cloned from, right? So what's going on? What's up with this Whitebeard treasure that everybody's looking for? Who's going around talking about this Whitebeard treasure that got the Marines looking for this treasure? You know, is this Weevil? Did Weevil cut out some type of deal with the Marines? Like, hey, yeah, I know y'all work for the world government, but hey, let's try to get this treasure from Whitebeard. You know, like, what's going on? What is going on? So we got this little Marine with these rat ears and this little rat face. He says, "Remember, this place isn't government affiliated. You have no legal rights here." And they say Whitebeard must have kept all his treasure here. If you don't tell us, we'll consider it an act of defiance. And then the Marine got the gun to the kid's head, the one who said he wasn't scared. The one who said he wasn't scared. He says, "I could shoot you all one by one. If you think that'll make you more talkative." And the kid is screaming. He says, "Whoa!" And the kid says, "There's no treasure here. Stop pointing that gun at my little brother." Oh, it's the other kid screaming. And then the old lady says, "You really won't treat us as fellow humans just because we can't pay the government. You monsters." Yeah, that is pretty screwed up, right? That is pretty screwed up. And then that Marine says, "Are you sure it's wise to act tough when Marco's not around?" Bruh, now this is why Marco, doesn't leave the island. And this is why Marco don't leave the island. And it's like he was needed in Wano, but it's like, damn, he was also needed at Sphinx Island as well. And then the Marine says, "Hold her still." And we see these two Marines holding the old lady and the little boy saying, "Granny." And then we got the Marine aiming at the old lady, and he says, "Steady." And the people of Sphinx Island are saying, "Please stop this. She's just an old lady." And they scream, "Granny!" And we got the guy, the Marine aiming, and he says, Next page. So we see Weevil come out of nowhere, swinging the that I don't know the halberd. I want to call it a halberd. I guess I don't really know what you call that weapon. It's like a staff with a blade on it. You know, it's the same one Whitebeard has, right? So Weevil comes out attacking these Marines, and he says, hands off." And then we see all of them get wiped out. And he says, "Step away from Pappy's home." And these Marines get sent flying into like a mountain, and they say, "Captain Raftel," or is it Raftelli? Or Rattel. I was about to say, I know this man's name's not Raftel, like Laugh-Tail. It's Captain Rattel. Captain Rattel. And the Marine says, "It's Edward. We." Pretty much saying, "Edward Weevil. Weevil." And then he said, I guess the Marines were screaming, "Warships were meant to hunt down the warlords. Now they're disbanded." And then Marine says, "We've lost all contact with the other squad. He got them all. What strength? He's a bona fide monster." Bro, we get Weevil, bro. We getting some Weevil stuff. So Weevil out here protecting Sphinx Island while Marco is going. So did Weevil go to Sphinx looking for Marco to attack Marco possibly? Or has Weevil turned a new leaf? You know, because we know, if anything, is more so Bakken manipulating Weevil to be bad. But it seems like Weevil he actually cares about his father Whitebeard, right? Like he actually wants to make Whitebeard proud and do good by Whitebeard, even though we know Whitebeard has passed. But still, he's out here protecting Whitebeard's home island. So we see off on the coast of Sphinx, they said, "Get back to the ship. We need to wait for backup. This is Sphinx. An ex-warlord just showed up. It's Weevil. Requesting immediate assistance." So that sound like more people might end up coming to Sphinx Island, potentially. You know, the world government might come back to Sphinx Island. And then we cut back to the current time on Sphinx Island. The kid says, "If that big guy hadn't shown up, the village would be toast. What a hero. I'm glad you're all safe, Yoi." And then we see Bakken in the background. We just see like the back of Bakken's silhouette looking at Marco. So she's currently on Sphinx Island as well, but I don't know if Marco is aware. And what is her intentions with Marco? Is she going to try to get Weevil to attack Marco? Or is Marco even aware that Bakken is there? And Bakken says, "That wasn't the end of it, Marco. Who do you think they sent in after they called for backup?" So hold on. Are these the kids talking to Marco, or is this Bakken talking? I'm not too sure. I think it's Bakken because it looked like the quote boxes are pointing at her. Bakken says, "None other than Admiral Ryukagu, and he wasn't pulling any punches. They've taken my sweet Weevil away. Get me my beloved son back. And while you're at it, fork over Newgate's inheritance too. It says, former member of the Rocks Pirates, self-proclaimed scientist, Mad's resident freeloader, Miss Buckingham Stussy. Mad's resident freeloader. Oh my god. All right, so damn, the Marines took Weevil. They got Weevil. They took Weevil. Green Bull took Weevil. Now, I think we can assume that this must have been before. I think we can assume this might have been before Wano. Before Green Bull went to Wano, I would think. I'm trying to. Okay. Because Green Bull, if I remember correctly, Green Bull was at Reverie with Fujitara. I could be wrong about that, but I feel as though Green Bull was at Reverie, and then he eventually went to Wano after post Wano, right? Like right before, like the Straw Hats were still at Wano. So after he left Wano, did he go to Sphinx, or was he at Sphinx before Wano? I'm curious on the timeline. I'm curious on that timeline. And bruh. And it says Stussy is or Buckingham Stussy. It says that she is a self-proclaimed scientist. So she's not even a real scientist. She just claims to be a scientist just so she could freeload off of so she could freeload off of the Mads science group. So she was pretty much using Mads pretty much to probably hide. She was probably like hiding with them, like using them to hide. And then, yeah, sure, she allowed him to clone her and everything. They possibly cloned Weevil as well. So we getting more into Bakken, right? We getting more into Bakken. She was obviously a freeloader though. She was obviously a freeloader, and she was an enemy of Marco, but now she wants Marco to get her son. You gotta love it. You gotta love it. And we see a flashback of Bakken at the coast of Sphinx Island as the Marines take Weevil away. She says, "Weevil!" And then Weevil says, "Mama!" And then Bakken says, "Sent to prison for protecting his father's village. Isn't this tragic? Don't you think our boy has a noble soul? Isn't this tragic? Don't you think our boy has a noble soul?" Is she like kind of like talking to Whitebeard, like saying our boy? She talking to Whitebeard, kind of like when people talk to like somebody that they love that passed away. So, or she talking to Marco, And then Marco says, "Well, I appreciate you guys protecting this place at least, Yoi." And then Baka says, "Marco, I can hear it in your tone. You still doubt he's Whitebeard's. Well, I know someone who can prove it. Dr. Vegapunk. Bruh, the claims that we might go to Sphinx Island are actually starting to look actual legit. Like it seemed like Straw Hats could stop at Sphinx. Pick up Marco possibly, maybe Miss Bakken. I'm just saying. But it says One Piece chapter 1073 end break next week. Boo. We got a freaking break. But we still got more to the chapter. We still got that's wild. We still got another page. We still got another page. And we're at we see some ships, some marine ships, some world government ships. We see the flags, a marine flag, a world government flag. And then someone says, Kizaru-san, we prepared snacks and tea for our guests. I'm sure you remember to test for poison, right? Of course, sir. I'll take it to him back to your post. Yes, sir. So Kizaru is taking some tea to a special guest. I could kind of guess. And then we got my dog, my man's Kizaru. My man's Kizaru. He says, so have you ever met Dr. Vegapunk before? And then we see a figure sitting in the chair. He says, And he says, once a long time ago. I think what's happening now is truly such a shame. And then we got the one Gorosei member who got like the dread looking things. Bruh, we got it says the highest authority in the world, one of the 5 elders, Saint J. Garcia, Saturn. One of the big wigs finally makes a move. Bro, Kizaru, Gorosei, Saturn. That's the man's name. Saint J. Garcia, Saturn. I seen somewhere where somebody speculated like the names of each of the Gorosei members being like names of planets. Bruh. There's some other some chapter notes in this thing, so I'm gonna read these chapter notes as well. It says, in addition to referencing the planet god, the planet/god, Saturn's name might refer to 2 unrelated musicians, Jerry J. Garcia. It kind of looked like that guy, right? This guy. And then he said his name is very similar and he bears a visual resemblance to the character. There's also Russell Garcia who wrote a song named The Lost Souls of Saturn. Rattle is named after the honey badger. So okay, so dope. All right, so yeah, y'all, that is the chapter right there, bro. We got some stuff in this chapter. It was a heck of a chapter. We start this chapter with the aftermath of last chapter of Stussy attacking Kaku. Kaku's pretty much done, out for the count, and so Lucci tries to attack Stussy, but Stussy has like this little after image move where she manages to avoid Lucci's attack, and she pulls out her lipstick, which is like sea stone, and then she, uses it to pretty much weaken Rob Lucci and makes him where he can't use his devil fruit abilities, and then she bites him and then incapacitates Rob Lucci, right? And so after getting rid of Rob Lucci and Kaku, the Seraphim was still rampaging, right? They're still rampaging, trying to destroy this lab. Stussy can't do anything about it because she's at the same level of authority as Rob Lucci, and we learn that her orders can't overwrite Rob Lucci's orders or Kaku's orders, right? Like, so if you're on the same level of someone with the same authority, right, and they order the Seraphim to do something, in order to overwrite that order, it has to come from somebody even higher on the hierarchy, right? So that will also mean even with the Gorosei, right? Like if Saturn, who we learn, the Gorosei member that we meet later in this chapter, if he gives an order to the Seraphim, one of the other Gorosei members can't override that order. You know what I mean? Now, we don't know where Een falls on the hierarchy thing, you know, if he's even programmed in, because I would think that Vegapunk has to do the programming, and if Een doesn't get programmed in, he's just not in there, right? So I would think Eam should have authority, like ultimate authority, but I don't know how they give Eam that ultimate authority without him actually revealing himself, you know. So there's that as well. So Stussy can't override the order that Lucci and Kaku gave to the Seraphim. So we got Lilith and Edison racing to give these CP0 to give these Seraphim the order. And then Lilith makes it out and she's about to give the order. She even calls and she says, Seraphim. And we see S-Hawk notices Lilith and is about to attack Lilith. But you know who shows up. We get a glimpse into the future. Zoro intercepts S-Hawk and stops him. We get a S-Hawk and Zoro clash. Zoro says, yeah, you're not the same. You know, he says, you, talking about S-Hawk, still have a shred of humanity. So it's kind of implying like Mihawk doesn't have no humanity. Mihawk is a straight cold-blooded killer. And I don't know if I personally believe that. I think Mihawk has some level of humanity, but he's a fighter. He has to be cold-blooded to a degree. And so Edison decides like, hey, you know, I guess Lilith about to be attacked. She kind of is taken back, right? So Edison ends up calling the Seraphim and telling them to quit what they're doing. But right when he says it, we see S-Shark like shoot a laser beam at Edison. And Edison manages to get the order out, but the laser beam's already on its way. It's already en route to Edison. And we see an explosion there. But, you know, Lilith is worried. She thinks Edison gets hit, but Sanji manages to save Edison. And, you know, he arrives and saves Edison, and Edison manages to be safe. The Seraphim are calmed down. Everything is made right in the world. And so we cut to the Sphinx. Or no, before we cut the Sphinx, we see Luffy is looking for Vegapunk. And it said that Vegapunk disappeared. Like he phases away, or like he vanishes. Like the main Vegapunk body vanishes. Now, what does this mean? Like, is he just like, could Luffy not find him, or did he actually disappear? Did like he teleport somewhere, right? Or accident possibly. You know, and if Vegapunk is no longer on Egghead Island, what does that mean for the escape? You know, do they just leave without Vegapunk, you know, until they go look for him elsewhere or something? Like, what does this mean for Vegapunk if he's vanished? You know, does he eventually come back? What? You know what I mean? What is going to happen to Vegapunk? What is in store for this man? So we cut to Sphinx Village, where we see Marco talking to these kids. The kids are telling him about how the Marines were at the island and they were pretty much bullying the people of the island, saying like, hey, where's Whitebeard's treasure? Where's Whitebeard's treasure? You guys aren't part of the world government, so we can do whatever we want with y'all. Y'all have no rights. You know, y'all, we don't have to treat y'all humanly, right? Like, we could do whatever, you know, especially if y'all don't cooperate. And so the Marines are bullying the people, and they're about to shoot this old lady. But you know who shows up to make the save? Somebody you probably wouldn't even expect. Weevil. Weevil and Baka have made their way to Sphinx Island. They found Sphinx Island, but Weevil is set on protecting his father's island, right? And the people of his father's island. But after defeating the Marines, they call for backup, and Green Bull showed up. We didn't see this. This is not something we see, but Green Bull shows up and he defeated Weevil, and he manages to take away Weevil, like capture Weevil and take him. So, and we get this from Bakken. Like Bakken is there talking to Marco, and he says, "Look, my son was taken by the Marines for protecting your island." You know what I'm saying? So why don't you, since he protected this island for you, did your job, you help me get my son back, and while you're at it, give me Whitebeard's treasure as well. And during this reveal with Bakken showing up, like Bakken at Sphinx Island, Bakken says, like, you know, like, or we get an older box of Bakken saying, like, all self-proclaimed scientists in the resident Mads freeloader. So it seems like Bakken was around the Mad Science group for a while, you know what I'm saying? Which makes sense. You know, they did clone her, and potentially they created Weevil at this time as well, right? Like, they potentially, right? So, but supposedly she was just a freeloader. She was just freeloading over the Mads and acting like she was some type of scientist. But that isn't the case, right? That was not the case. And yeah, so that's how the chapter pretty much ended. That's what I initially thought, right? But we get another page cut into the world government ships. We got some world government ships. We got some marine ships. And, you know, the Marines are talking to Kizaru. They're like, "Kizaru, sir, here's the tea for the guests and everything." So Kizaru has some guests, and the guests turned out to be the Gorosei member, the one who got like the dreads, the one with the dreads, and his name is Saint J. Garcia Saturn. So we get an actual reveal of an actual Gorosei member, the name and everything. His name is Saint J. Garcia. That is a weird name. It's like a Spanish name, right? A name you would think somebody's Spanish. So is this guy Spanish? I'm just saying. Is he like Mexican or Puerto Rican or something? Spaniard, you know? But he also has Saturn in the name, right? Like the planet Saturn. So it makes me think, are these Gorosei members going to have names that match with planets? Or Roman gods potentially, right? Because they are looked at as gods, right? The Gorosei in the celestial dragons in general are looked at as gods, but the Gorosei are like the highest authority of celestial dragons. So they may have names off of like Roman gods like Saturn, Pluto. Maybe not Pluto, because Pluto might be Pluton. So it might be like Saturn, Jupiter possibly, Mars. Maybe not Uranus, because that's an ancient weapon. I want to take away the ancient weapons, right? Like Pluto and Uranus. Poseidon isn't the Poseidon is like the Greek name of the gods. It's not like a planet, Poseidon. So you could say Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Earth, maybe not Earth, Venus, Mercury, Neptune. So I'm thinking of names like Saturn, Neptune, Mercury, and Jupiter, and Mars maybe. Those are the names I'm thinking, because Pluto or Pluton like Pluto would be going with Pluton, right? And then Uranus is going off the planet Uranus. So that's two names scratched off. And I don't know the Romanized name for Poseidon. So I don't know what planet Poseidon is would match with, right? So there's that. But yeah, y'all, that is the chapter for today. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Also, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications. Comment down below your thoughts on the chapter of today. Let me know. Let me know what you thought about this. Also, follow me on Twitch so you can engage with me in real time while I'm live. And if you want to get at me directly, follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And make sure you guys join the Discord. Come be a part of my community. It's the best place to get at me. I'm the most active on the Discord. Also, if you want to send me content to react to, I got a channel in the Discord for you to submit those videos. And if you want to be part of a future discussion stream, you must be a member of the Discord. Anyway, y'all, it's your boy Sean P, the Bluff God, and I'm out of here. Peace.